How we doing, YouTube? Mark from Like-Minded Lunatics coming at you with a music matchup. I hope everyone is doing well, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. We're glad you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, let me remind you to do so. It helps us out with our YouTube analytics, but we also like just building this family. So if you like the content that you see, please hit that subscription button. Now, music matchup or the music video matchup segment is where I take two songs, put them head to head, and see which one comes out on top. But first, let me make clear, I'm not bashing on these songs. I like the songs that I pick. I don't pick songs I don't like. So don't come at me when I give my verdict at the end of this segment. If I did this segment tomorrow, it might come out different. Just let me know what you think. I do love seeing your comments, but keep them nice. All right, so in the interest of full disclosure, I think it kind of behooves me to tell you, this is a last-minute decision on my part. I'm recording this on January the 11th. Last week was when we had the insurrection at the Capitol. On my list of videos to do, I had originally put for today Motley Crue and Megadeth's cover of Anarchy in the UK. That seemed wildly inappropriate after what happened at the Capitol. So I had to switch gears very quickly. So what we're doing today, we're going to take a look at two covers of Frank Sinatra's My Way. Now, that song, the original version, was written by Paul Anka back in the 1960s. And he used the melody from a French song. He wrote it for Frank, and it was one of Frank Sinatra's biggest hits. Been covered by tons of folks. So before we actually look at our two covers, let's just do a quick remind ourselves what that original version sounded like when old Blue Eyes sang it.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way.
Now, I'm sure you've heard this song. Who hasn't heard this song? It might be one of the most covered songs that's not a Christmas song ever. But I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I've never been crazy about this tune. Never been crazy about it. It's fine when Sinatra sings it because he's Sinatra, but a lot of times I feel like the song itself is so self-aggrandizing, so narcissistic that it annoys the absolute shit out of me. So I've never been a huge fan of this song. When it changes for me is when we get something interesting from the singer. So for instance, when Willie Nelson covered it, and I'll throw that up over here, you can go check that out, it makes me cry listening to his voice because it's an old man singing this song and it's just super sad the way he sings it. But so often it comes off as self-aggrandizing and pompous, and it's just super duper annoying. And that's why I wanted to take a look at these two versions, because Shane MacGowan and Sid Vicious both did versions, and they are not narcissistic. Well, they kind of are narcissistic, but they explode this song. So let's take a look at Sid Vicious's version first. This came out in 1979. 1979, and I'm going to do my best to try to ignore the video so it doesn't distract me from Sid Vicious's singing. Here we go.
I can't believe it's my Sid up there.
All right, hopefully you're catching that he is not singing the actual lyrics. That line was, "You cunt, I'm not a queer." So he's immediately exploding this song. And I apologize for the homophobic epithet there, but I'm just reading the lyrics. He is not even trying to sing, I don't feel like. And it just gives this song another dimension.
I'll state my case, of which I'm certain.
There is something about Sid Vicious intentionally singing this song poorly. That's the most punk thing you can do, I think. Get up on stage and go, you know what? You're going to listen to me just sing like shit. You're going to sit there in your chair and you're going to have to power through this awful performance that I'm going to just destroy. I love it. I have to say, I absolutely love it. And I'm trying to ignore the video, folks, because obviously this is kind of performance art. But man, all right, so let's go to Shane MacGowan. So Shane MacGowan, lead singer of the Pogues, released this version in 1996? Yeah, 1996. So let's take a listen here. So I like that there's that punk aesthetic there. There's obviously that rebelliousness. There's obviously that spit in the eye of authority. But Shane's singing. I think we can all agree that Shane is actually singing. His voice sounds great. Whereas Sid is obviously, I don't care. I don't care. You're going to sit there and listen to this awful performance. Man, there is something about that voice that just makes me want to, I don't know. It's a crazy sounding voice, isn't it? It's so bad, it's awesome, if that's a thing. I do like how the guitar and stuff kicked in. It basically took a shit right on that crooning melody, that French melody. So good. All right, let's go back over here to Shane MacGowan.
I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. I saw it through without exemption. I planned each shorter course, each careful step along the byway, but much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, sir.
I like how this version, Shane MacGowan's version, it seems rebellious. It seems like somebody has done a lot of bad things. It doesn't sound like Sinatra is bragging about what, I mean, obviously they're Paul Anka's lyrics, but the way Sinatra sings them is, I've done some awesome stuff. You all love me. And you love me because I did it my way. Doesn't feel like that when Shane MacGowan sings it, for me at least. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments. To me, it sounds like I did some awful shit. And I paid for that awful shit. But that was my way. That's the way I did it. That's the way it feels to me when Shane MacGowan sings this. All right, let's take it back over to Vicious. Let's go back and listen to that again. That's crazy. All right, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when there was fuck all else to do. Man, that is firm punk, right? Good gracious. Wow. He seems just insane there, doesn't he? It seems like the rantings of a crazy man when Sid, it legitimately may have been, when he sings those lyrics. Crazy.
I'm sure you knew when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I chewed it up, I spat it out.
Now, I read an interview with Paul Anka, and he said that this lyric, I chewed it up and spit it out. He said about that lyric, that is something I would never say. That's not how I would ever express myself. He said, but when he was writing this, he was writing it specifically with Sinatra in mind. And he said that lyric was very Sinatra, something Sinatra would have said. Again, though, I think the way Shane MacGowan's singing this obviously gives it just a much different meaning than hearing it come out of the lips of old Blue Eyes. Again, it just feels like he let the character, I'm not talking about Shane MacGowan, it feels like the character in this song lived a really crappy life. But to hell with it, that's how I did it. Pfft, who cares? That's the feeling I get from MacGowan. The feeling I get from Sid Vicious is your music stinks, and I'm going to show you why it stinks. That's the feeling I get from Sid Vicious. I am going to just shit all over everything that you love. Okay, so just in case it's difficult for you to understand him, and I did listen to this several times. I've got the lyrics pulled up so that I don't get it wrong. He just sang, I've laughed and been a snide. I've had my share of losing. I really like that because the original lyric is, I've loved, I've laughed, and cried. I've had my share of losing, and now as my tears subside. Vicious, I've laughed and been a snide. So I've made fun of you. I've made fun of all of you. Again, it's so punk. Okay, so right here he sings, let's go back. I find it also so amusing to think I killed a cat, and when I'm done, not in the die way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. It is just the rantings of a crazy person. The rantings of a crazy person.
I've laughed, I've cried, I've had my share of losing.
So Shane MacGowan is sticking almost perfectly to the original lyrics. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now as my tears subside, I find it also amusing. I have to say, I love the composition on this one. I love the mix of the instruments. You got some of that. Sounds like a violin or a fiddle in there. It's I really like it. All right, let's take it back. We're almost to the end here of Vicious. How's he gonna end this thing? All right, let me go back. For what is a prat? For those of you non-UK speakers, a prat is a misbehaving child, essentially. I mean, obviously it's used for adults, but that's kind of the connotation. You're a child and you've been misbehaving. All right, and so again, these are the lyrics are very close. What he's doing is very close to the original. So the original line, for what is a man, what has he got? If not himself, then he has not. To say the things he truly feels and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and I did it my way. All right, so someone who stood up and weathered criticism and still did it his or her way. That's not what Vicious is singing. He's singing for what is a prat, what has he got when he wears hats and he cannot say the words he truly feels, but only the words of one who kneels. So he can only say the words of those who kneel. I passed them all, I kicked their balls, and I did it my way. That's what Vicious is singing. Okay, I lied. I can't not comment on the video. So he sings it like a crazy person. He's got all these people in a theater and he sings it like an absolute lunatic. And then at the end, he literally kills his audience. The people who have been adoring him this entire time, the people who have been heaping adoration on top of him, he literally kills them. Wow. Again, for those of you non-UK speakers, this is not a nice symbol in the UK. He gave him the doubles. All right, let's let Shane finish up.
What has he got? If not himself, then he has not. To say the things he truly feels, and not the words I want to use. The record shows I took the blows, I did it my way.
What a great crescendo there, right? Man, they built up to that. MacGowan belts that out. Fantastic. Can you imagine being in a pub in like Cork, you know, or Dublin, or even Belfast, and this coming on? I bet people go nuts when this comes on in those pubs. Makes a fella want a nice pint of Guinness. Wow. What a good version. What two interesting versions of a classic Frank Sinatra song. Now, the Sid Vicious one appeared in where's my hand, Mark? The Sid Vicious version appeared in Goodfellas, so you may have heard that version before. But man, I don't know where I'm at on this one. I think this is going to be kind of like when I took a look at Lord and Leo Morcioli. You can check that out over here. I feel like so much meaning has changed between the two. It's kind of unfair now for me to comment on which one I think is better because they're so uniquely different. I want to read this to you. Two things. Paul Anka said, he told the Telegraph that he was somewhat destabilized by the Sex Pistols version. It was kind of curious, but I felt that Sid Vicious was sincere about it. He didn't really care for it. He said he was destabilized by it. And then the other thing that I thought I would read to you is a quote by Leonard Cohen. He wrote Hallelujah. You know, the song that Zack Snyder thinks he has to put in every one of his films. And Leonard Cohen said this about Sid Vicious. I never liked My Way, except when Sid Vicious did it. Move it over a little bit. Sung straight, My Way somehow deprives the appetite of a certain taste we'd like to have on our lips. But when Sid Vicious did it, he provided that other side to the song, the certainty, the self-congratulation. The daily heroism of Sinatra's version is completely exploded by this desperate, mad, humorous voice. I can't go around in a raincoat and fedora looking over my life saying I did it my way. Well, maybe for 10 minutes in some American bar over a gin and tonic, you might be able to get away with it. But Sid Vicious's rendition takes in everybody. Everybody is messed up like that. Everybody is the mad hero of his own drama. It explodes the whole culture this self-presentation can take place in. So it completes the song for me. So I feel like Paul Anka is arguing that he didn't really like that song, the original song. Didn't really care for it. It sounds like for the reasons I didn't really care for it. But when he saw Sid Vicious do it, he felt like it demonstrated the madness behind My Way. I don't know, man. I guess it depends on what kind of mood you're in, right? This one is very tough. I'm going to say it's a tie. To hell with it. I'm just saying it's a tie. But let me know what you think in the comments. I would be interested to hear your feedback on this one. Do you like Shane MacGowan's version better, or do you like Sid Vicious's version better? Let me know why in the comments. Please make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And again, thank you to all our new subscribers. Please check out the rest of the channel. I do a Friday night reaction video. You can check that playlist out over here. That's a lot more loose than this segment. I have a drink. Have fun watching a video. My writing partner, Todd Wright, does a segment we call Drink, Play, Swear. That's where Todd has an adult beverage, plays a video game, usually a classic one, and tries to tell you a story at the same time. You don't got to know nothing about video games to enjoy it. It's just fun watching a grown man try to tell stories as he's playing video games and drinking. So you can check that playlist out right there. All right, folks, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.